Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, my name is Rajendra Bhatia, representing CreativeEdge from Top Rankers, and we are here to talk something about NATA and JEE B.Arch examination. JEE B.Arch, of course, as you all know, is the second attempt. Friends, this time a lot of turmoil onto the rules and regulations of these two examinations. However, we will talk about it a little later. Presently, let's talk about what is architecture, why you should opt for it. The first and foremost thing that I would like to point out here is opting for career in architecture is gaining prominence in society. Ask how? Considering that the architects attain the status of gazetted officers. We all know that people keep on saying that the architecture is something like, 5-year course, but we also know that none of the design, whether it is you talk of roads, you talk of bridges, you talk of buildings, none of it can get cleared from the government authorities unless the presentation is by an architect. An architect, as I said, are gazetted. That means in the Gazette of Indian government, their name is there against a number. And that one is for their lifetime. And we have been saying a lot of other gazetted officers like principal of your school, lecturer, professors, and principal of any college. Thirdly, all the lawyers, all the chartered accountants, all the MBBS doctors or BAMS doctors, they all are gazetted. That means their name appear in Gazette. And so will be your case in case you pass out the B.Arch course, Bachelor of Architecture course. Bachelor of Architecture course has got two gateways to enter. Let's see what it is. Firstly, there is an exam of NATA, National Aptitude Test for Architecture. Okay. In this exam, let's see, the National Aptitude Test in Architecture conducted by Council of Architecture since 2006 for admission to Bachelor of Architecture. Before this, the PET that you used to give was the criteria for even admission in architecture. That means engineering entrance and this entrance were same. But anyway, from 2006 onward, the admission of Bachelor of Architecture controlled by Council of Architecture is NATA. Regulations set by Council of Architecture, including the 2020 version, mandate qualifying an aptitude test in architecture, NATA or NTA JEE. That is the JEE B.Arch 2. Okay. So either of the two now, till before last year, they had mandatory NATA to be cleared. Only last year, they said, okay, either you are doing an NTA exam or this. This is good for you to enter into an architecture course. Admission handled by state authorities based on the valid NATA score and eligibility criteria. NATA assesses aptitude through cognitive skills, visual perception, aesthetics, sensitivity, logical reasoning, and critical thinking. Again, NATA 2024 is scheduled on weekends from April to July. Has it not become interesting? Till last year, in the last year, there were two things. One, that one after another, there were NATA examination dates announced, and they conducted it actually. Before that, they were conducting it for 3 attempts. Thereafter, they started conducting it for, last year they conducted it for 4 attempts. Everything started turmoiling, changing from the time of COVID-19. That means 2020, the examination was very different. So one that the examination is now going to be weekly. To tell you honestly, 2016 or till then, there were, that means 2014-15, they used to have daily examination of NATA. You could apply in for the center and your preferred center and the date, and you could give 3 examination. Every attempt was, the percentage was clubbed and the average was taken. So earlier dates, they used to have suppose you and the passing criteria was 80 marks out of 200. Still, NATA is 200 marks question paper. But, well, that was the time which is gone. Recent time, the scores were valid for 2 years, but last year they changed it to 1 year. However, we will see that this year they will be having the scores valid for 2 years, as well as, yes, it will be best of the 3 attempts that you can take in any of these weekends starting from April. I think the first is on April 6th to July of 2024. That's going to be very, very different kind of a approach. So some of your class fellows are giving examination maybe on 6th April, some of them are giving on 13th April, as per their preparation, as per their confidence, etc. And that you can apply as far as the application were concerned. Schedule of examination, maximum of 3 attempts allowed in NATA 2024 in one academic year. Best score from all attempts considered for result declaration. That is best of the 3 in case you're giving 3 attempts. NATA test score valid for 2 academic years. Now here I must tell you that till last year, best of the 2 was there. And if you had the 3rd attempt taken, then the average of the best of the 2 was the valid mark. Here it has changed. Now it is 1 of the 3. So, as I told you, now the score will be valid for 2 years. That means in case you have cleared it and for some forbidding reason, you could not take admission into your desired college, then you can wait for the next year with the same score. However, you want to maybe improve onto your score, you could again give the examination. So that those are kind of things now happening. Exam held on weekends from April to July 2024 in two success sessions. Now there could be a morning session, there could be based on the candidate registration. Preference for session and city indicated during the registration at NATA portal www.nata.in. Council allocates test center and session based on the candidate preferences. And of course, council will have the final decision. NATA 2024 exam start from April 6, 24 with two sessions, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and the second session is 1:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. So any one you have to choose and mm, do your registration. Right, friends? Syllabus. Syllabus for NATA examination. Friends, I must tell you here that I'm going to talk about both the gateways for architecture. Right now, I'm talking about the one where the dates are announced. Of course, the other one is also the date is announced well in advance. However, NATA now require a lot of clarification. And since we have just started talking about it, let us clarify our concept very, very clear and and fill up the form accordingly. Syllabus, as far as NATA is concerned, part A is drawing and composition test, offline test of only 90 minutes, in which there will be three questions. Question A, composition and color, it will be of 25 marks. You know what kind of a composition is it? It's a two-dimension composition. I will be showing you some of the sample done by us, and those are the types of question you're going to face in NATA examination. Second, one question. The first one was also one question. Sketching and composition. That is black and white, not colored. To what we have been talking about as memory drawing. This is what is expected in the second question. Third one, I never knew that they would value this much. 3D composition, 30 marks. I will also show you one of this kind of a question. Okay. So this is about the subject that I am talking about. That means the new one which has been reintroduced in NATA. What was happening after the lockdown? They stopped this offline test and everything was based on the online. That means no drawing questions were asked in last 3 years. This year they have reinducted this 3 question comprising of altogether 80 marks out of 200. 40% is the weightage of this creative ability, which I'm going to discuss with you quite in detail. Okay, quite in detail, friends. Part B will be MCQ, computer-based online test. Again, 90 minutes, one part and two part. Part one will have 30 questions of 2 marks each. That means 60 marks. Whereas B will have 15 questions of 4 marks each, making it 60 marks again. So altogether, the B section, A and B are 200, but then the B section is 120 marks. So that's about the syllabus, and I'm sure you will get geared up with me in the coming up courses. Let us have the summary of part A and part B. Part A, medium of aptitude test, English and Hindi. My goodness, everywhere Hindi getting introduced. पहले क्या था? Only English. Part B, thirty questions, 2 marks each, 15 questions, 4 marks each. That's what we discussed. Topics included visual reasoning, logical derivation, GK in architecture, to what I call as AAT, Architecture Awareness Test, and design and language. Interpretation, design sensitivity, design thinking, numerical ability. Please change it to part A, and this is the part B, because drawing and composition is part A. 90 minutes, 80 marks. Composition and color, 25. Sketching and composition, 25 marks. That is required only black and white. This one is coloring, 3D composition, 30 marks. Evaluation based on best score from 3 attempts. We have already talked about NATA 2024 exam start on April 6, 2024 with 2 sessions, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and 1:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. That means 3 hours. Eligibility for NATA examination. Passed or appearing in 10+1. Yes, friends, some of your juniors, because mostly we all think that the competitive exam is for 12th students and onward. Why this is given? Everybody can understand. Since the score is going to be valid for 2 years, what happens? 12th student, they say that we are engrossed into board's examination. So when you are in 11th and you have already passed that 10th board examination, that is the time you can prepare for NATA and take the examination, give the paper. Then passed or appearing in 10+2 is all known to us examination with PCM. With PCM, remember that. अभी भी कोई ज़्यादा changes नहीं है. Passed or appearing in 10+3 of diploma examination with mathematics. Admission to B.Arch courses based on eligibility in Council of Architecture Regulations 2020, NATA 2024 is a qualifier for B architecture admission subject to the council prescribed criteria. That's what we have been talking about. Qualifying in NATA 2024 doesn't guarantee admission unless all requirements are met. हमने नाटा क्लियर कर लिया और हायर सेकेंडरी में 49% आए, नहीं मिलेगा एडमिशन. क्राइटेरिया is 50% marks. Overall, admission eligibility for 2024-25 B architecture program 10+2 or equivalent with 50% in PCM or 10+3 diploma with 50% in mathematics. That's the criteria. Proposal for eligibility amendment pending, although for approval, reservation and relaxation in qualifying marks are determined by admission council authority, not within NATA's purview. Now let us come on to the subject of NATA. First question, as I told you, is a composition. Composition that is 2D to my mind. Okay. So create 2D composition. Create 2D composition using following elements: 3 triangles, 2 squares, 2 circles, 2 motifs, and rhythmic lines. In this composition, what has been done? The candidate has colored it with primary colors, red, blue, and yellow, and its tints, shades, and tones. Okay, you can see the composition very well balanced: 1 circle, 2 circle, and a part of 3rd circle. 3 triangles, 1, 2, 3. 2 squares, 1 and 2nd. Okay, so you need to make a superimposing element composition which is well balanced, visual weight balance on all the side. Color it with either the primary colors to make out all the elements very clear, or with analogous colors, or with split complementary colors. All these kind of things you should learn to get on with the best of the result out of it. And this is not an answer sheet right now. This is only a sample answer to the question, which is not full, because I always suggest my student to do some case sketches before you come on to finalizing your sketch, and then do the coloring, and that too with dry color. That you have to remember that. So you should be practicing it with dry colors. I tell you, 90% of students, they use only 90, yeah, more than 90%. They use only pencil colors. No, friends, once you are joining me, I'll tell you how to go about do the 2-dimension design very fast. And this is one thing which can make or mar the whole, so to say, the creative ability part, because Here you can gain a lot of good marks, maybe 20 out of 25, maybe 22 out of 25, if you're doing it ethically. But many of them do not know what are the ethics behind it, what are the requirement behind it. So they make that mistake. You must have also noticed the rhythmic lines here and here. Two motifs, you have seen them. One butterfly, the other butterfly of larger size. Whenever you are using such elements, you should not be using with the same size. Okay, I will be answering questions, friends, in the last of my this lecture. Let us get on with the other type of question. A 3D composition. So that's the third question actually in the NATA syllabus. Make a 3D composition with 6 glucose biscuits and a ball in the space provided. Also show the effect of the light, shades, and shadow. Now, whenever there is a composition which is 3D, it has to be stable, friends. Stable. Unless it is stable, you don't get full marks. Okay? So here is a ball, and can you notice? See, ball as such, a round ball as such is unstable. So what the candidate has done trickily has arranged the biscuits all around the ball so it doesn't move. And the biscuits are also overlapping each other. So very nice way of presenting this. The only thing missing in this is the again the part of key sketches, okay, and maybe a little more shadow. Take a light source and let the shadow be seen even more than what has been used here. But I saw this as one of very good example of 3D composition, so I brought in this picture done by one of the candidate in my class. Sketching and composition, black and white. You're visiting a doctor's clinic because your brother is sick. You are seated just in front of the doctor's desk, and there are also other patients waiting nearby. The doctor is examining your brother in another area. Draw the scene from your point of view. Now, this is supposed to be black and white. As you can see that you are sitting here. These are your legs. Opposite this is your vanishing point. To find out a vanishing point in such composition, you should be, take any two parallel line and join them. The place they join each other is the place is your vanishing point. And you try to settle down the things accordingly. Here is a doctor's chamber, Dr. XYZ, and Doctor of Medicine seen here. Okay. You can see that this also goes to the same vanishing point. You have to remember the proportions as to what will be the height of this table so that your head is around here. Okay. So these are the details of the um, memory drawing, or sketching and composition, black and white. So these three types of question I expect in NATA, although in my class, which is going to come up next month, I am going to take a lot of details as to how to approach each question, each of these three types of question. So we'll do at least, even in a short time period, we'll be able to do something like 5 or 7 or maybe 10 of each kind. Particularly, this one is a tough one, although it's going to get you 25 marks, but it's a tough one to get on with. So we will give equal number of minutes for that. Now we come on to the other gateway. One thing I think I have forgotten it, mentioning even in the slide, but I want to verbally tell you that criteria for admission through NATA is percentage of higher secondary along with percentage of NATA divided by 2 is the merit score. JEE.Arch, once you have done that 50% clearance of your 12th, then they only take what is your merit rank as per the percentile result of JEE.Arch. We will talk more about it in detail in my coming lectures as well. Probably, as you all know, that this is going to be a series of 7 days, and this is first introduction of the course that we are going to handle. One of the common question will be memory drawing. Now, I think all three are common, but then nowadays JEE.Arch is more onto memory drawing and three-dimension design. Also, there is one very peculiar kind of a question that they have been asking. But let's see what are the highlights of JEE.Arch. Exam name is JEE Main Paper 2. Exam frequency 2 times in a year. One is already you might have given it, or you are waiting for the second attempt only. Some of them have definitely given it, and is also going to give the second attempt, because again here also the final result will be best of the two, and that will be taken onto the merit rank as per the percentile. Here no percentage is applicable. Here percentile is applicable. Exam mode, online and offline, that is drawing test is offline. Same as that of NATA now. Exam duration 3 hours, extra 30 minutes for those candidates who attempt both B.Arch and B-Plan. So Bachelor of Planning is also another examination that you could attempt along with JEE.Arch or JEE Paper 2. Official website jeemain.nta.nic.in. Now here, as you know, the admission registration, the examination registration have started, because this all is gone. except for results. This is on, this is gone, this is gone, this is gone, this is gone. However, last date to fill the form, now we come on to the second attempt, March 2. Whereas release of application, February 2, which has just begun. So you can quickly go and register yourself for this second attempt or second chance that you can take. Announcement of exam city, that is gone. March 3rd week. Release of admit card, March last week. Examination could be any one date between 1st April to 15th April 2024. In fact, you come to know almost at the time of the hall card getting released or the to what you know as admit card released, you get this date clarified. It comes pretty late. So don't worry about that. Just get prepared. Declaration of results, May 1st week. But you know what? Final thing, one out of the two. So the final list will be only after May 1st week. You might have given very good examination. You might as well get very good percentile in the first attempt. There is nothing wrong if you take the second attempt and improve on to the first, or even if the first remain the better one, that is your valid score. The NTA closed JEE Main 2024 पेपर 2 रजिस्ट्रेशन फॉर द फर्स्ट सेशन. ये तो हमारे काम का नहीं है अभी आज के रोज. Now application process includes registration, form completion, image upload, fee payment, preview, and submission on jemain.nta.nic.in. Eligibility for JEE B.Arch or B.Arch mains paper 2. JEE main eligibility criteria cover various aspects of for candidate. Criteria for B.Arch set by the Council of Architecture, 50% marks in physics, chemistry, and mathematics, and 50% aggregate as well. To be qualifying in the examination. Same as NATA probably. Candidate allowed 3 consecutive attempts in JEE mains. The exam held twice a year. That means if you had given JEE mains last year, both the attempts, then you can only take 1 attempt this year. Or you have to drop it and then take 3 more. Now, this allows for a total of 6 attempts over 3 years. 3 consecutive, or in 2 years' time, 3 years' time, you can take as many as 6 attempts. Continuous attempts required, no gap years allowed between attempts. That is very important. That is very important. Now let us take a typical question of JEE B.Arch, that is paper 2. Redraw. Draw a proportionate sketch of the given reference image by using black and white rendering technique of your choice. As you can see, now, since I'm taking it online right now, I'm showing you a bigger image. On your computer, the image is even smaller. And the space provided is bigger. and you have to make an enlargement. So do an enlargement, take some graphs, and here you have to imagine the graph. Here you have to imagine the graph. Because sitting in the examination center, you cannot mark your um, computer's screen. Then enlarge it exactly the way you see it. How do you like the idea? Now, this kind of a question may also be replaced by a portrait, um, either shown and redrawn, or an imaginary portrait. That too, they expect it to be well in proportion. I want to attend one question here by somebody writing it. Sir, I passed my 12th last year. I got 70%, but in PCM less than 50%. So asking that should I can give NATA, can I get admission to B.Arch? No, no. You have to have 50%, whatever may be your percentage as an aggregate. Any which ways, it has to be more than 50% once you have got PCM as 50%. I think this gentleman has been asking it 4 times before I could attend him. As I told you, Vishal, um, good that you have reminded me many a times. But for such kind of a thing, Vishal, I believe you should have given 12th once again. You should have given it once again. Because as you might have seen that in NATA, you um, you can take as many as 3 attempts, even starting from your 11th class. Okay, so that is important. I should have clarified. Another redraw, you can see the same thing. Now, same size, not possible, only because I'm online and want to show the picture and want to show the sketch. I have slightly enlarged it for you to notice the details. You don't get the same size to be done. As such, your computer screen shows a small picture that you have to enlarge. I've given you some hint how to enlarge it, and accordingly, you have to prepare with me. 3D composition is also asked in JEE B.Arch. Create a three-dimensional composition by arranging 4 cylinders, 3 cubes, and 2 pyramids, incorporating proper shading and shadow for a realistic effect. Now, what have I done here? Can you see? To show you 4 cylinder, I selected one of this cube out of the 3 cube as transparent, as if made up of glass. Interesting. What happens if the examiner sees that, yes, you are so attentive, so very keen of uh, getting good result? I mean, how vigilant are you to the question? If you're doing it in perspective, I'm sure you would have lost um, this 1 cylinder and the the examiner can conclude that the fourth one is you're assuming as if it is maths question. No, you have to show. So what I have done, there was no mentioning of whether transparent cube or opaque cube. So what I have done, I've used one transparent cube and two pyramids, both of them as transparent. Okay, four cylinder I used as base of the composition. So how the shadow would form, like the cylinders are opaque, they get their shadow. The two blocks here are opaque, so they get their shadow. And transparent thing have highlight at the base, except for this area. It will be slightly shaded, but this would be highlighted. Because the light passes through the transparent surfaces. Unless the transparent surface is twice or thrice clubbed. Clubbing it will change the refraction. So the light do not pass with same potency or any potency for that matter. Right, friends? So a very interesting one that we can prepare as a preparation. Another question. Another question that may come as a replacement to the earlier one. That was the enlargement. Or it can come as an option to a portrait. But this one, I have been observing not even 5% students have been doing it correctly. And probably apart from me, or other than me, there are very few people of even, um, with due respect, of course, of higher ranks could do the justice to the answer of such question. The question is decoding. Decode the image and prepare a balanced composition of your choice. This is an indirect question on two-dimension design. Yes, indirect question on two-dimension design. So what is all required in decoding? Firstly, you should know what artwork is it. The artwork is the Madonna della Seggiola or the Madonna della Sedia. Artist Raphael, year 1530, 13 to 1514. Medium, oil on a board or a panel, dimension 71, 71. If you do not know the dimension, it's all right. But you should know the artist name. You should also know the title of the artwork. So that is one part. You decoded what the artwork is. But what the artwork says. Look at this keenly. Take out mother and child. Don't you see that? Love, care. Looks quite a beautiful lady here. Feminine. So what are we doing actually? We are trying to bring out the emotion out of the artwork. Then do you think that they are stable? Or is the child yelling a lot, crying a lot? No. So crying is unstable, quiet, in love, very stable. So stable. or rhythmic curve for the lap of the mother. So you can write down rhythm for it. Two hands, protection. Innocence, because two children seen here, innocent. The other child shows some movement. Maybe you can discard movement here because they are antagonizing each other. Or you may write it, do not depict it. So one, love and care with mother and child. Can you see the mother and child here? That's the depiction of mother and child. Blessing and femininity, this is blessing. I'm adding lines to it, but this is how you bless. सिखों के गुरु गोविंद सिंह जी का blessing hand हमेशा ऐसा ही दिखता है अपने को, a little like this. So I've depicted it as blessing. Stability, child portion of the mother. This is quite stable, safe. Lap of the mother, fertility, growth with green. So this is what is shown as lap of the mother. Then movement, playfulness, delicacy, pleasure, depicted with curved rhythmic line. I did write rhythm from here. So friends, this is where you can get on with the I've also taken in some of the scene creation for JEE B.Arch separately, although the scene creation in NATA shown to you is also the same. I mean, same type of question. Draw inside view of a railway station platform. This is what it has been done. Another, draw a village scene of Gram Panchayat meeting. This is also done. Now, friends, upcoming courses. CreativeEdge is pleased to announce architecture crash course for NATA and JEE B.Arch student target 2024. Grab the offer. Batch start 11th March 24. Enroll yourself at 7676564400. 7676564400. Now it's time for me to attend some more question. हिंदी में क्वेश्चन है 10+2 या उत्तीर्ण कर लिया है अनिवार्य विषयों के रूप में भौतिकी, रसायन विज्ञान और गणित के साथ समकक्ष परीक्षा कुल मिलाकर कम से कम 50% अंक। जी हाँ, सब मिला के 50% और गणित, फिजिक्स और केमिस्ट्री इसमें भी तीनों मिला के 50% मिनिमम is the criteria. Well, friends, that is it. I don't see many questions right now, but any question that you get afterwards, I will be happy to answer it. You can ask me the question on 7676564400. I thank you very much for being with me. Tomorrow there will be a session on real aptitude test course because the examination criteria have given you enough in both NATA and JEE B.Arch. So aptitude part, we will be taking the same time, 2 p.m. tomorrow. Bye for now. Thank you. Big thank you.